Hello, my bone building friends. Last week, I shared a video where I talked about exercises that are important to do after having a compression fracture to help to strengthen the extensor muscles of your spine. This week, we're going to do a practice that's based on what I shared last week, and it will have the exercises that I taught last week in addition to some other exercises. If you haven't seen the educational portion, I encourage you to check that out, and you can do that here. If you have seen that and you're ready to get going on our practice, this week you will want a long, loose resistance band, a chair, and a pillow. We will be doing some of our exercises seated, some standing, and some down on a mat. And on that note, let's get started. Let's begin our practice sitting in a comfortable chair. So I'm sitting in a chair that has a hard seat. Go ahead and make your way towards the front of your seat and place your feet and your knees so that they're about hip width apart. Let's go ahead and start by rolling our shoulders back 3 times. Go ahead and roll your shoulders back. And one more time. Making sure that you're sitting up nice and tall, lifting up through the crown of your head. Go ahead, on your next inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, creating extension through your spine. Extension is really helpful for a variety of different things going on with our spines, and it can help to bring balance back to our spines. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands come together at heart center. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, hands come together at heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands come together at heart center. Go ahead and bring one hand down to hold onto the side of your chair and use your other arm to reach up and over, opening up through your side body. This is a wonderful way to help fight against any potential kyphosis and to open up through your side body, taking pressure off of your internal organs. It's a really good movement for the spine. Go ahead and come back into center and let's switch sides. Using your other hand to hold onto your chair, reaching up and over, opening up through your side body. And go ahead and bring yourself back into center. Go ahead and grab your resistance band. And with your resistance band, go ahead and take your band out in front of you so that there's a lot of give so you can pull your band. And then from here, I'm going to show from the side what this looks like. So I'm out with my band out in front at about shoulder height. And then from here, I'm going to pull the band out to the side so that it comes back towards my chest. So we're going to do a set of 5 of these together, making sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. We're working on strengthening muscles that are on the backs by our shoulder blades. Go ahead and pull your band out and come back to center. Pull your band out and come back to center. Pull your band out. Come back to center, pull your band out, come back to center, pull your band out, and come back to center. Go ahead and lower your band down to your lap and take a moment just to take a full breath cycle to give yourself a little bit of a rest. From here, we're going to work on creating extension, but this time we're going to do it with the resistance band. So taking the band from your lap, go ahead and reach your band up overhead and lower down. Reach your band up and lower down. Reach your band up, lower down. Reach your band up, lower down. Reach your band up and lower down. Beautifully done. Really nice work. All right, go ahead and take your band out in front of you. And this time we're going to do a bow and arrow exercise. It's very similar to the exercise that we did pulling the band apart. But in this case, you start with one arm bent and one arm out to the side. We're going to straighten the arm that's bent. Go ahead and straighten your arm out and bring it back to center. Straighten your arm out and come back to center. Straighten your arm out, come back to center. Straighten your arm out, come back to center. Straighten your arm out and come back to center. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Straighten your other arm out and come back to center. Straighten your arm out, come back to center. Straighten your arm out, come back to center. Straighten your arm out, come back to center. Straighten your arm out and come back to center. Go ahead and give yourself a moment just to rest, to take a full breath cycle. And from here, we're going to come in and do another extension exercise, reaching the band up overhead. But this time we're also going to add in some lateral movement, moving from side to side, taking your band out in front of you, sitting up nice and tall. Go ahead and reach your band up overhead. Shift your band over towards one side, coming through center, over towards the other side, back to center, and lower down. Reach your band up. Shift over towards one side, coming through center, over towards the other side, back to center, and lower down. Reach your arms up, shifting over towards one side, coming through center, over towards the other side, back to center, and lower down. Reach your arms up, shift over towards one side, coming through center, over towards your other side, back to center, and lower down. Let's do that one more time. Reach your arms up, shifting over to one side, coming through center, over towards the other side, back to center, and lower down. Really nice work. From here, bring your feet and your knees together. Make sure that when we do this exercise, make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. Take your resistance band, wrap them around your legs, and then go ahead and bring your band up over your legs. You have several options here. You could choose to wrap your band around your hands several times, or if it's more comfortable, you could just hold your band over your legs. Sitting up nice and tall, go ahead and push your knees out to the sides and come back to center. To do this exercise, we're working into our glutes, which is really important for providing good support for your spine to prevent fractures. Go ahead and push your knees out to the sides and come back to center. Push your knees out and come back to center. Push your knees out, 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 and come back to center. Go ahead and step one foot out to the side and bring it back to center. Step your other foot out to the side and come back to center. Step your first foot out and center. Step your second foot out and center. Step your first foot out and center. Step your second foot out and center. Go ahead and unwrap your legs. Go ahead and place your resistance band over the back of your chair. And with your band back here, go ahead and make your way back into a seated position. We're going to do one of the exercises that I shared last week where we bring our shoulder blades back together, making sure that we're not scrunching our shoulders up. So sitting up nice and tall, making sure that you don't scrunch your shoulder blades, go ahead and bring your shoulder blades back together and release. Shoulder blades go back together and release. Shoulder blades go back together, release. Shoulder blades go back together, release. Shoulder blades go back together and release. Really nice work. We're going to make our way up to standing. To do that, we're going to come through the hip hinge, maybe taking your legs out to the side a little bit, making sure that your spine stays straight, making sure that you have enough room to be able to move yourself forward and make your way up to standing without coming into a rounded position with your spine. And then coming up to standing, I'm actually going to turn around and face away from the camera. But before I do that, know that using my sturdy chair, I am going to hold on to the sturdy chair with both hands. If you feel really comfortable in your balance, you could do this as a balance exercise. And if the sturdy chair feels a little bit unsteady, you could also choose to do this next exercise holding onto a kitchen counter. Standing with your feet parallel, go ahead and take one leg out to the side, keeping your foot flexed and parallel. And come back into center. Other leg comes out to the side. And come back to center. We're working into glutes, gluteus medius specifically. Take your first leg out to the side and center. Second leg goes out and center. First leg comes out. Center, second leg goes out. Center, first leg goes out. Center, second leg goes out. Center, first leg goes out. Center, second leg goes out. Center, first leg goes out. Center, second leg goes out. Center, beautifully done. Go ahead and give your legs a little bit of a wiggle and a shake out. And we're actually going to make our way down to the floor. I'm going to take my sturdy chair over to one side and make my way down to the mat, coming down using the hip hinge and my chair. So from here, having my feet so they're about hip width apart, go ahead and bend both of your knees, stick your behind out, making sure that your back stays in a nice straight shape. Hands can come down to your chair, or you could just bring one leg down to the floor, depending on what's comfortable for you. And know that you can always place a blanket underneath your knees for some extra padding. Then you can go ahead and make your way into a tabletop position. From here, we're going to come into the bird dog exercise. Take your right leg back behind you and your left arm out in front of you. This exercise is one that's going to strengthen the extensor muscles of your spine. All of the exercises that we've done so far are actually designed to strengthen your spine and your extensor muscles. Go ahead and take your left leg back behind you. Right arm comes out in front. You have to use your tummy muscles to keep yourself sturdy and stable. And go ahead and bring yourself back to the mat. Right leg, left arm. Left leg, right arm. Right leg, left arm. Left leg, right arm. Right leg, left arm. Left leg, right arm. And go ahead and start to bring your forearms down to the mat, making sure that you don't come into a rounded position with your spine. And from here, you can start to lower yourself all the way down to your mat. Go ahead and bring your forehead down to the floor. We're going to do another exercise that's designed to strengthen the extensor muscles of your spine. To do this one, keep your forehead so that it's pressed down into the floor, and also your hip points. Press your hip points down into the floor. Again, it might feel good to have a blanket underneath your hips, underneath the knees and hips, when knees are down there in a tabletop position, but then leaving the blanket there for when you press down into the floor with your hips. Some extra padding can feel nice there. And then go ahead and reach your arms up overhead. From here, go ahead and lift your right leg and your left arm, but keep your forehead pressing down into the floor. And lower down, left leg and right arm. Right leg and left arm. Left leg and right arm. Right leg and left arm. Left leg and right arm. And then from here, go ahead and take your arms out alongside your torso, palms facing down towards your mat. And then from here, go ahead and roll your shoulders back, lifting your head and your arms and shoulders, coming into, in yoga terms, a half locust. And go ahead and lower down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, 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 lower down. Go ahead and bring your hands out in front of you, making a little pillow for underneath your forehead, and take just a moment to let yourself soften and melt into your mat. And from here, go ahead and lift yourself up, or maybe you were smarter than me and placed a pillow closer to where you were going to exercise. Go ahead and grab your pillow, placing it down on the mat, and we're going to come in and do our head press exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down on my side, making sure that I'm mindful, making my way down to the mat, that I'm not going to come into a rounded shape with the spine. And then go ahead and lie down on your back, making yourself comfortable, bringing your arms down to your sides. Take your legs out long in front of you. And from here, press the back of your head down towards the floor and release. Press the back of your head down into the floor and release. Press the back of your head down into the floor. Release. Press the back of your head down into the floor. Release. Press the back of your head down into the floor. Release. Press your head down into the floor. Release. Press your head down into the floor. Release. Press your head down into the floor. And release. Go ahead and slide your pillow off to the side, out of your way. Go ahead and walk your feet in, placing your feet so that they are flat on the mat and about hip width apart. Bring your arms out to your sides at about a 45-degree angle. And then in order to create stability for your spine while working into your glutes and putting good stress through your spine, press the back of your head into the floor and then press your shoulders into the floor. On your next inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky, coming into a bone fit bridge. Doesn't matter how high you lift, just so long as you're finding some good engagement through your glutes and you're creating stability through your spine. Bring your focus back to your breath. go ahead and lower yourself back down to your mat. Take a moment just to breathe. Next, we're going to come into figure 4 stretch, which is another wonderful way to work into your hips. You can stay right where you're at. I'm going to turn myself sideways so that you have a better view of what's happening with legs. So from here, go ahead and pick your right foot up, crossing it over your left knee, and let your right knee drop out towards the side. This might be enough of a stretch through your hips. You could choose to make this a little bit more intense by choosing to take your right hand and pressing it against your right thigh. You also have the option to interlace your hands behind your left thigh and then to draw your legs in closer towards your torso. If you wanted to deepen this stretch, you could even use your right elbow to press against your right thigh, deepening this stretch through your hips. And bring your focus back to your breath. And go ahead and release both legs, and let's do this same thing on the other side. This time take your left foot, crossing it over your right knee. Your left knee comes out towards the side. You have the option just to press against your left thigh. That might be enough of a stretch. And if you wanted to take this a little bit further, you could choose to interlace your hands behind your right leg, drawing both legs in closer towards your torso and using your left elbow to press against your left thigh, deepening the stretch through your hips. Bringing your focus back to your breath. And go ahead and release both legs. So from here, you have the option to stay laying down. I'm going to go ahead and roll over onto my side and make my way up into a seated position. You could lay down on your back and rest for a while and let everything in your body relax. This is what I have for a practice for you today, and I hope that it's really helpful and that you find it helpful for strengthening your spine. Let me know in the comments how you get on, if you have questions about any of these exercises, and I would love to hear from you. And on that note, I will see you again soon.